Hashanah Tova. I wish you could see what I see in the life of our congregation. I wish I could hear what you hear about the life of our congregation. It has been a trying time for Holy Blossom Temple. Change is hard, transition is hard. And yet at the same time, the very real needs of our congregants are exactly the same today as they have always been. Our deeply human needs for belonging and purpose, for meaning and insight, guidance and comfort, our need to express gratitude, to mark the passing of time and sanctify it, to make a contribution towards something good, to something larger than ourselves. These are all the same as they have ever been. These are among the good reasons we have come together once again on this eve of the new year, so full of potential and promise. I've come to appreciate that for many, if not for all of us, the highlight of tonight's service is still to come. It's the Shehechianu. Soon we will all rise to our feet. Those first few notes will begin and stir something in us, something that has been waiting dormant in the recesses of the Jewish soul. And then we will join in with the cantor to give voice to the most basic religious impulses in each of us: gratitude and hope. We will say what we have come to say. Thank you. Thank you, God, for this life. Even though it comes with disappointments and hurt, it is a good life. I do not take it for granted, or I try not to. Tonight, I count my blessings, and I pray for another year of life. Shehechianu is gratitude and hope wrapped into one. Of course, one can say Shehechianu alone. One can say Shehechianu privately when wearing a new suit, or biting into the first luscious fruit of the season, when establishing a new home, or at the mikvah for conversion, when seeing a child off to school for the first time. For most of us, though, it takes a communal occasion such as this, and it takes a guide to lead us to Shehechianu. Baruch Atah, praised are you, eternal our God, ruler of the universe, who has given us life, who has sustained us, and who has enabled us to reach this moment. It can be a profound moment, a deeply religious moment when we recite these words. Even the cynics and critics among us can't help but lose themselves in the moment, for just a moment. It's a rare and precious moment of transcendence. All at once we feel ourselves linked across time and space to one another, to our ancestors, to our people, to our potential, to our God. And the finest place outside of the land of Israel where all of these can converge into one is here in the synagogue. This is the power of congregational life. This is the business we are in. There have always been two anchors in Jewish life: the synagogue and the Jewish home. These two institutions must stand firm so Judaism can flourish in the lives of the next generation. But the Jewish home is weaker than it once was. Some say weaker than it has ever been. For a variety of reasons, and you know them as well as I do, children do not learn their Judaism at the kitchen table as they once did. Our children do not hear enough Jewish conversations in their homes. They don't observe enough Jewish role models among their neighbors and teachers. They don't have a large enough bank of Jewish memories or experiences to draw upon as they grow. But the need to know where we come from and to know to whom we belong, these are the same as ever. And so the anchor of the synagogue is more important than it has ever been before. Young parents are saying to us, I don't know as much as I wish I knew, so please teach me how to teach my child. Parents are saying to us today, I don't have the time I wish I had. Please help me to raise my child. Some say with unusual insight, I don't have the focus I wish I had. Please help my family to cut through the distractions of life and help us to concentrate on what matters most. This past year, Holy Blossom Temple co-hosted with Beth Tzedek Congregation and with the University of Toronto Center for Jewish Studies an important two-part series. The edgy title was The End of the Shul as We Know It? ? Rabbi Professor Larry Hoffman urged us to ask one another, what can busy people find in the synagogue that they can't find anywhere else, not even on the internet? What must synagogues become expert in? His first two answers are predictable. Sanctify family and sanctify community. But his third answer may come as a surprising challenge. First, sanctifying family. I wish you could see what I see. Let me share just a few examples. What does it mean to sanctify family? The synagogue provides the moments, including this one, during which one generation hands itself over to the next. Most days we press on and breeze right by the undeniable truth that we will not live forever. And so we turn to the synagogue to give our mortality some sweetness. Two examples. It's Erev Simchat Torah. Our youth chapel is packed, overflowing with parents and grandparents of our grade 1 students. It's a happy commotion of kvelling. There is singing and storytelling. The 6-year-olds are completely overwhelmed. They know tonight is special somehow because they've been dressed in their finest, but they don't know what the big deal is yet. But then, their parents stand before the open ark and present to their children a little Torah scroll. And that's when the magic starts. Our young consecrants become very quiet, and they instinctively know how to hold this Torah scroll. Without instruction or prodding, they understand that what has been placed into their hands is something precious, to be held in a special way and to be treated with special care. The grandparents crane their necks to catch a glimpse of the little ones. Some sneak a photo, even though we've told them not to. Who can blame them? And the parents look out at their own parents with a face that says, you see, I told you I would bring them here, and I did. This is synagogue life. No one can deny or diminish its tremendous personal and religious power. This is a Shehechianu moment. Another one. It's Shabbat morning. The parents of the bar mitzvah boy haven't been in the same room for months now. They are both achy from separation and divorce, and in anticipation of the bar mitzvah day, each has privately told me how anxious they are, that they just want to get through it. But then there is that moment. They are called to accompany their son to this bima, to take their place side by side at his side. He launches into his Torah reading, and the magic starts. The parents' eyes are locked on their boy, who, right before their very eyes, is transformed into a young man. They beam. There might be some tears, too, but these are not the sad tears of hurt or regret. These are tears of relief. They've done well. This young man is going to be all right. He's still got a long way to go, but he is capable and he is stronger than they ever realized. They catch a glimpse of his future. and they feel the stack of the generations behind them shift just slightly, like tectonic plates. This too is a Shehechianu moment. No family is perfect, but every family can be made sacred. What does Rabbi Hoffman mean when he speaks of sacred communal life? I wish you could see what I see, because I see it every day here at Holy Blossom. 2 examples. A congregant is a recent widower. He cared for his wife for 4 years, and his world contracted during those years. Now that she's gone, he knows he needs to expand the scope of his life again. Prodded by his children, he reluctantly comes to check out a program at Holy Blossom on Monday mornings. He's heard nice things, saw nice pictures on the website. It couldn't hurt. Quickly, Holy Blossom becomes more than a weekly destination for him. It becomes home for him in a way he did not know to expect. More than the intellectual stimulation from expert speakers, more than the professionally led, gentle exercise, there is a sacred community waiting to receive him. There is good company with like-minded people. So now he comes early to help set up the tables. And when he misses a Monday, he gets a call of concern. When his birthday rolls around, they remember. There is cake and good wishes. He feels he is a part of something. He feels he is living again, even without her. Shehechianu v'kiyamanu. Another example of how we sanctify community, both within these walls and beyond these walls. An empty nester congregant gets a call from a friend on our Bikur Cholim committee. Can she bring a meal to a young family with a sick child? How could she say no? So she rearranges her tight schedule to shop and prepare a nutritious meal with more care than she would for even her own family. It's Friday, so she includes a challah. She wonders if the kids would prefer raisins or plain. She writes a thoughtful note, even though she wouldn't know these fellow congregants if she passed them on the street. She drives down to an unfamiliar neighborhood, rings the bell, thinking she'll drop the packages into the arms of whoever answers the door and then carry on with her day. The father opens the door. He is young, but has dark, tired circles under his eyes. He smiles a warm and weary smile and invites her in. To her surprise, she steps inside and accepts the cup of tea he offers. She asks about his children, and he seems grateful for a chance to speak of them with pride and concern. She listens to his story and she shares some of her own. She is encouraging and kind. Like a friend? No, not really. Like a fellow congregant, like a fellow Jew. So this is what it feels like to be a part of a sacred community. They wish one another Shabbat Shalom, and as she heads north again, she wonders who was the giver and who was the receiver in this exchange. She is overcome with gratitude. She'll call her own children tonight. Another Shehechianu moment. I would like for our congregants to expect more than high holiday tickets from Holy Blossom Temple. And I'd like for our congregants to give more than financial contribution to Holy Blossom Temple. What does it take to turn a synagogue into a sacred community, into a Kehillah Kedosha? It takes a village to create a village. Each of us has something to give and something also to receive in the pursuit of sustaining and being sustained by sacred community. What's more, in addition to sanctifying family and sanctifying communal life, Rabbi Hoffman offers a third challenge. He says, that liberal synagogues must get serious about pursuing matters of the Spirit. Busy people, intelligent people, sophisticated and accomplished people search for meaning just like everyone else. And Hoffman is critical that liberal synagogues have not addressed this need. The most current and comprehensive data on the subject shows that Jewish respondents score significantly lower than Christians on all recognized scales of spirituality. This may not surprise you, but there is a surprising and important differential between generational responses, Jewish generational responses. We need to pay attention to this differential. On all 5 scales about spiritual inclination, spiritual mentorship, religion, prayer, and spiritual experience, younger Jews scored higher than their elders. Hoffman challenges us today, saying in order to remain relevant and necessary, synagogues have to give serious thought to transforming themselves beyond the ethnic era and into institutions that provide transcendent purpose that justifies Jewish identity. Now, I could go on with examples of the pursuits of matters of the Spirit. It happens week in and week out here at Holy Blossom. Some seekers among us are not easy to spot, but they are easy to admire. Not easy to spot because the quiet work of the Spirit, they go about it modestly most of the time. But you know it when you see it. You see them at sacred study tables. You see them leading the daily minyan. You see them going into Shiva homes and leading mourners in Kaddish. You see them preparing to greet our out-of-the-cold guests. You see them coming to mark Yartzeit. And you see them gathered in sanctuaries on the eve of the new year, sitting in quiet contemplation over the year past and in wonderment over the year to come. In a moment, we'll see them standing shoulder to shoulder to express the longings of their hearts in prayer. In a moment, we will know the power of their presence when we sing Shehechianu in one voice together, with all our heart, with all our soul, and with all our might. Ken Yehi Ratzon.